Good afternoon. It's Tuesday, 23rd of March, back in the reading nook. Got some parcels to unbox, and of course, I'm out here with a cup of tea because it is a slightly chilly, overcast day. I need that to keep me warm whilst I'm unboxing these boxes. So let's get to the first one. And here we go. Fairly large. I tell by the packaging it is from drive-through-rpg.com. So let's get to it. Just slide my fingers underneath here. Ow. And what we've got in here is Life of Moonson, Book 1, The Characters. Now, this isn't my book. This is I've been lent this by my friend Neve, who is a RuneQuest fan, and also the owner of my local game shop, Wayland's Forge. And she's part of my bubble, so I see her quite often. And she brings me books to unbox. And this is the very latest book to be published on the Johnstown Compendium, the community content program on Drive-Through RPG for Glorantha, which means role-playing, RuneQuest role-playing Glorantha, and also 13th Age and Quest World, which was Hero Quest. So this follows on from the earlier Guide to Glamour, but this is Richie Moon's Megacorp's Life of Moonson, Book 1, The Characters. Contains 50 illustrated character sheets from the freeform live-action role-playing game run at North American, British and Australian Gloranthan conventions in the late 90s. Take part in the Lunar New Year ceremonies, marvel at the glory and decadence of the Imperial Court, witness the majesty of the Senate, the might of the Red Army, and the sinister machinations of the organs of state. It's written by David Hall, Kevin Jacklin, Nick Brook and Chris Gidlow, with Michael O'Brien and Mike Hagan. It's lavishly illustrated by Dario Corallo and cartography by Phil Anderson. So there's the back cover. So what you've got in here is 230 pages of characters and information. This is based upon a live-action role-playing game for which the Guide to Glamour formed the sort of like the handbook, as it were. Basically, here's the guide to the setting in which you are playing. And here we delve into basically the characters that were being played in that LARP, but obviously not necessarily in the LARP. They weren't necessarily presented as RuneQuest characters. I can't comment upon that. Obviously, Nick Brook, Chris Gidlow, and so on could, but here they are. So we will start off with the basic introduction before we delve into characters. Now, all of the characters themselves have a number attached to them, and this indicates it's got basically their political rank between 2 and 7, and it's a red political rank because, of course, it's red. Because that's the colour associated with the lunars, and essentially, for example, we start off with the cutest prefect of the Mother Guard, and we've got a bit of basic information about him: age, career, religion, culture, and disposition. And then every one of these tells you basically biography, background, objectives in terms of personal, career and religious, who he knows, it's basically through personal acquaintances, through his culture, through his career and so on, and what secrets he knows. So there we go, that's basically got. So over here we have his background, and then Who Knows on the opposite page, and the secrets at the bottom there. This is going to be repeated throughout the book. It's basically the standard format, and it's followed by the other knowledge that they know, along with special items. So basically, other knowledge, items he possesses, and so on. So that's literally one character presented over the course of 4 pages, and so on, and so on. And this is the same for each of the characters in the book. So yeah, that's 50. That's a couple hundred pages, and so on. And if you go through, you'll see what's interesting here is, basically there are author's notes as well. So so there's notes on who else might have been in the free form, okay, when they originally drafted there. But the other thing is, in terms of the artwork, it draws heavily upon 20th century icons. So Amora, Princess of Love, 221, Ambassador of Love, Religion, Illyria, Goddess of Love, and Culture, Zoria, Culture, City, from the City of Free Love, Disposition, Amorous, Joyful and Exuberant. Well, it's obvious who inspired her. Yeah, and again, going through every NPC. It's illustrated, obvious, not so obvious, cultural references to, at least in the illustrations. Artophaestos, first satrap of Aurelia. Okay, yeah. Again, here we have, Michael Caine at his in his heyday, as it were, and so on. Commander of the Imperial Bodyguard, Beatpot Alarin, again, another noted character. I don't know whether he dies in this. Some, of course, not so obvious because they're fully uniformed up. Others might be blue, but again, I believe that's Nicole Williamson as Merlin from Excalibur. And obviously, these are from the late 90s. Originally, when the LARPs were running in the late 90s, but updated 20 years on, they draw from a wider range of characters or actors and so on, and pop stars and the like. So the Imperial Presidium, basically Spot parodies and so on, at least. So, the Emperor himself as Elvis, going through the Emperor basically, and he is depicted in the fiction, and goes through basically the different stages of Elvis's life. You have Sir Ian McKellen back there, or a la Richard III, and the females a little more hidden, and Benedict Cumberbatch. So yeah, it's a really nicely well laid out. The artwork is vibrant. It's amusing, spotting who is who. And I think that basically, the designers and writers have had a lot of fun in deciding which actors and figures from pulp culture maps onto which characters. Some of them perhaps not necessarily obviously, but yes, they've clearly had a lot of fun. So Haroun Al-Rastare, well, that can only be Vincent Price there. So 50 characters in here. Basically shifted on from pop culture of the late 90s into the pop culture of the early 21st century and beginning of the 20s. So we get through all the way down here, down to the end. And again, just more figures whom you will recognise there. And these are all characters. The thing is, in a campaign you might not necessarily actually ever encounter these, but they're interesting. You might it certainly probably wouldn't run into them in one go unless you were actually running or participating in the LARP itself. But there are characters in here from across the Empire whom you might include. So that is Life of Moonson, Book 1, the characters. I look forward to seeing Book 2 when it is published, and I'm sure I will review this at some point when I have my own copy. But in the meantime, you can find this on the Johnstown Compendium on drive-through-rpg.com, and its companion volume, The Guide to Glamour, which I have already done an unboxing of and review of. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching another unboxing. If you've enjoyed this, please click the like button down below. If you've got any comments or feedback, I do take the time to read them. And if you want to see more of these, please subscribe, and you'll see me and another book in the box here in the Nook soon again. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye for now.